Good morning, everyone. There's not too much news today. So it's May 16, 2023, Tuesday. Yesterday, I'm going to talk about what kind of happened yesterday, what transpired yesterday in the overall market. But there's not too much news to go through realistically. I'll talk about the 13F filings from big hedge funds, inclusive of Michael Burry and the long position taken on um, some financials, right, from that space, and we'll talk about some inflation as well, some inflation figures, and then kind of wrap that up and talk about what we expect from the market. So in terms of today's news, quickly, we have 8:15 in about 12 minutes. We have Fed's Mester talking, or sorry, what time? No, that's wrong. Fed Mester's already started talking. Retail sales came out. Fed Bostic is starting to talk as well around this time. And then at 9:15, we have industrial production. And then 10 business inventories, NAHB housing market index at 10 as well. And then Fed Williams and Bostic wrap up the day. So a lot of Fed speakers do continue with this. But overall, the thing that's making headlines right now, and that's making for the bull case in the market, for the continued bull case in the tech sector, is that hedge funds with at least $100 million in asset under management disclosing their holdings. It's a quarterly event, and we've seen a lot of filings that give investors a chance to see what they bought and sold during that Q1 period. Long positions, calls, puts on the options front, and unfortunately, shorts not included. Um, so we can see that a lot of the big money, right? Yesterday, Michael Burry made some headlines with his positioning on regional banks and just the banking sector in general. But there's been a lot of big bets on AI. We have Drunken Miller's fund. We also have Tepper's fund that showed very, very large, sizable positions in artificial intelligence boom stocks such as Microsoft, Nvidia, which are up over 100% year to date. Other bets centered around Google, naturally, that released its Bard AI platform a few days ago. Opening up a lot of the upside in that break on Google. Healthcare company IQV, and Kathy Wood's ARK Innovation Fund, ARKK. Bill Ackman's fund, as well as Daniel Loeb's, also up their stake in Google or Alphabet, which released a chatbot called Bard in March after Microsoft poured in billions for OpenAI ChatGPT. So people are also looking at Warren Buffett's positions for in Berkshire Hathaway, right? Ticker symbol BRKA and BRKB. They took a pretty large stake in Capital One COF, and as well as alcoholic beverage maker Diageo. DEO, and divesting four other stocks, including Taiwanese chip maker TSM and RH, right? Furniture retailer RH. Also, the Oracle of Omaha also upped its stake in Apple. Naturally, Apple is very close to actually all-time highs, and Oxy, along with Chevron as CVX. So Oxy has been a pretty large stake in Buffett's holdings, but a lot of the news kind of centered around um, what Michael Burry actually filed as of recent, right? Some regional bank stocks got a lot of upside movement on Monday. Well, not a lot, but a decent bit of upside movement on Monday. Um, the first time in a while, right? Back West, PACW rose 18% after falling 21% last week, along with regionals like Zion's Bank Corporation and Comerica, and some of the other biggest they were among a lot of the biggest gainers that held in the S&P yesterday. A lot of this is dissipating as market participants kind of shift their focus towards the debt ceiling. Michael Burry took a pretty big position at PacWest and also First Republic. Former Silicon Valley Bank CEO Greg Becker will also apologize before Senate Banking Committee later today, and will reiterate that any bank could have not survived a run of that velocity and magnitude. So overall, today is a pretty big make or break day for big tech companies, as well as just the tech market in general, that can propel this leg to the upside. So that's what I'm going to be watching for. There has been a lot of movement and news around those big tech names, especially around AI, and they've been holding extremely well now, kind of balancing some things, balancing off lows. We talked about divergences in IWM and triple Qs yesterday, meaning that small caps and tech companies have really uh, parted ways in terms of the correlation. And today, I think today and tomorrow are going to be attempts to see if we can break through some of that upside. Some retail sale numbers came out early this morning that's putting some downside pressure on the market. But if we manage on the triple Q above 327 or on the Nasdaq futures above 13,500, I think there's going to be a lot of upside that opens up that leads the market higher. A very pivotal area here on the S&P right now. The pivot is going to be 41.37 to 39 ish. That area is a massive region that was being bought aggressively over the last few days. So I'd want to see if that area holds out for the bulls. Now, we got multiple failures of that 50 area overnight on the S&P futures. So it's going to be a hard area to break along with that 63 above that, but that's what the bulls do want to target. Along with a lot of this strong tech, I think that there's still some bullishness in tech. I think that the buying isn't necessarily quite over. I would want to see an overall head fake in the market to the upside, meaning the S&P, to kind of head fake through this larger range before we do get a decent pullback. Yesterday, what had happened was the start of the session, we got a decent offer that was lingering to the downside, right? And it wasn't too much of a downside leg, right? I think like 15 points off the open, something like that. Now, that offer wasn't too aggressive. It wasn't too large either, but there was just no bid until we saw that 23. And ever since 23 was hit, it was just continuous bid to pretty much end the day overall. So that's something that we do want to consider. There's just continuous buying of dips. And I think that that does kind of correlate into the tech sector as we start off this week and look for potentially some more upside, right? So we're going to see how that kind of shapes off today. I would rather the bulls not retest the 23s, 24s if that leg happens to the upside. But if there's a real reoffer under this 37, we're going to have to watch that 23, 24 again. So those are the main levels that I'm going to be watching for today on the S&P 100 futures. On NASDAQ, I'm pretty concerned with 400 to 420. I know it's a 20-point range, but that region, I think, is the first big area where longs are going to try to pull this thing back up. And if it manages to break the 500 on NASDAQ, right, there could be another leg to the upside, or there should be another stronger leg to the upside that you'd want to watch out for. So it's no surprise that tech has been strong, right, especially after seeing the hedge fund filings, the 13Fs. A lot of money has been poured into these big tech names, and I think that there's still going to be strength in that, right? Because if you look at big tech, if you take a look at like the top 7 tech companies or something in relation to the remainder of the market, it's just big tech that's been getting a constant bid that's up like over 100% from those lows realistically. So we'll see how that kind of plays out. Logan says 46% of Buffett's portfolio is in Apple. Yeah, that's true. It's a pretty large portion. So with that being said, we'll see how this kind of shapes up. So far, it's just a large tech rally overall. I don't think that the breadth is that strong in other names realistically. HD also reported earnings. Someone mentioned that in the comments. HD reported earnings, kind of a big flop, pulling down to the downside. But overall, breadth generally pretty low. Like Nasdaq breadth is pretty low. It's just a few individual names that are sustaining this upside. So if and when tech does actually turn over, you're probably going to see deeper pullbacks. Right now, it's just kind of sustaining this range. So with that being said, right, remember, we're going to be doing a presentation Wednesday evening. My evening, Wednesday, 4 p.m. I hope to see you all there. It's going to be a Q&A. We're going to be talking about the resources that we're going to be putting out for futures trading, actually. So hope to see you all there. Other than that, check it out at community.tradeproacademy.com, where you can gain access to more information for that. And yeah. Perfect, Luke. Thank you, everyone, and we'll see you all tomorrow in the morning and then in the afternoon session. So thanks for watching and take care. Have a slower trading day today. I think that realistically, last thing I'm going to say, realistically, if it flops under this 37-ish, right? I think there's going to be a decent bit of downside pressure, but right now there's a lot of volume that's being pent up into these lows. So I would want to see the longs try to hold that. So thank you and take care.